We're in Statesboro, Georgia, where the Richmond Kickers and South Georgia Tormenta are both looking for their first win in Jägermeister Cup action. Richmond is looking to end a 7-game winless drought, while Tormenta wants to win back-to-back matches. It's the Jägermeister Cup on ESPN+. Hello and welcome, I'm Ryan Lee, so happy to be with you this evening, and both of these two sides, they're looking to get into the win column for the first time in the Jägermeister Cup action. Richmond, they were able to secure a win to open the tournament against Greenville Triumph. However, that was in a penalty kick shootout, so they couldn't get the 3 points available. Tormenta, they want to get their first win in either fashion, as they were unable to get a win in either of their first 2 matches. But for South Georgia Tormenta, the good thing for them is that they're coming off of a win just last week at home versus the Chattanooga Red Wolves, bouncing back from a 5-game winless drought from the regular season, from the Jägermeister Cup, and from the US Open Cup. And they did so in dominant fashion, scoring not once, not twice, but 4 times against the Red Wolves from 3 different goal scorers, including none other than Sebastian Vivas, earning himself Player of the Week honors of Week 9. Speaking of number 9, he is our player to watch for South Georgia Tormenta. His 7 goals leads the entirety of the club in 13 matches across all competitions. The 27-year-old from Argentina has really been a spark plug for the Tormenta offense in his first season of USL League One play. And for the Richmond Kickers, they've had a little bit of a teeter-totter so far this year, but right now, things have been looking a little downhill for them as of late. They have not won a match since the beginning of April versus Central Valley, and they're looking for their first set of 3 points. As we mentioned earlier, they're in the middle of a 7-game drought without a regulation win. 1 PK win to speak of, but that's been it for the Kickers. And one thing that could potentially launch the Kickers into that win column once again is the return of Pablo Jara back to Statesboro, where he spent between 2019 and 2023 with the Ibises in net, setting all sorts of records for Tormenta, including matches played, clean sheets, and wins. Both Tormenta and Richmond are looking for their first win in Jägermeister Cup action. South Georgia Tormenta want to bring these fans home happy with back-to-back wins, while Richmond Kickers are looking to end a 7-game winless drought. It's the USL Jägermeister Cup in Statesboro, Georgia. Lineups and kickoff are next.
I need to try it first.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lang from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. As we take a look at the starting 11s for South Georgia Tormenta, there is not a whole lot that Ian Cameron wants to change up considering how well things went versus Chattanooga. If it's not broke, don't fix it. However, there is one major change that essentially is the elephant for the room for the Ibises. It's Andrew Romay getting his first action in League One competition. He played all 4 matches of the US Open Cup for South Georgia Tormenta. He gets his first chance against another League One opponent. For Darren Sawatsky's side, it is very much going to be a little bit of shuffling, not a whole lot. We see Adrian Billhart, he takes that top 2 tandem with Neil Vignoles up in front, but we mentioned it in the open, Pablo Jara takes his spot in net, back to Statesboro, where he made himself so recognizable amongst League One circles as he takes the net for Richmond. Neil Vignoles stands over the ball for Richmond as the kickers will be in white to start things off as we're underway here in Statesboro. Richmond in white going from right to left, while South Georgia Tormenta and the All Blacks from left to right. Ryan Lee, our entire ESPN Plus crew alongside you in Statesboro, where the first touch of the ball already for Pablo Jara. We've mentioned him so many times throughout the broadcast. His first action back in Statesboro, where he spent so much time with South Georgia Tormenta. He spent 4 years here, 5 if you include his time with the USL PDL as well, where he set so many club records, including matches played, wins by a goaltender, clean sheets, and he looks to potentially get another win for Richmond as they're looking for their first in regulation time for the first time in 7 matches. Early foul for Tormenta as we have a player down right out of the gate. That's Neil Vignoles. Playing in his 91st match with the Richmond Kickers after spending 3 seasons with South Georgia Tormenta. The captain for the Kickers takes a little bit of a clip right there from behind it. Aaron Lombardi encroached in. Vignoles, he spent 3 years with Tormenta between the years of 2017 and 2020. He is one of numerous Tormenta players who are making their way back into Statesboro after spending some time with the Ibises. Sent in, that one's juggled up in front. No one able to get it. O'Dwyer, scramble in front, poked towards the net, but goes just a little wide. Scrambled towards the net, nobody knew where that was, and no one had a clear idea of what to make of it. O'Dwyer went down, but it was unable to be poked on net. As you just see the service in, everyone was scrambling. Richmond thought there was a potential penalty on Corey, but just goes a little wide. So Romay gets his first touch and sends it off. Akoto sends it in before it gets poked away. Bit of a scrap right at the 18. No one able to get clear possession, but it comes always back to Nils Vignoles. Chandler O'Dwyer sends this one up ahead. He's looking for Bill Hart, but a little bit too far out of reach. So Romay has to play it around. On the far side for Richmond, as we've already seen throughout the first 3 minutes of play. Both of these teams want to play fast. They both want to really pick up the pace a little bit. I'm sure the Kickers, especially for them being in Statesboro, they really want to make sure that Tormenta doesn't get into a rhythm. It's one of the things that Darren Sawatsky really credited Ian Cameron for doing, is being able to get his team in rhythm, doing so quickly, and being able to play with that momentum throughout the duration of the 90 as Vignoles goes all the way across to the far side. Quick touch there by Fitch, goes out of play. Goal kick will come for Romig as we take our first look at Darren Sawatsky. 117 matches coached in USL League One, where he is 41, 44, and 31 throughout that span. And he's using his wealth of knowledge throughout the MLS, where he spent 8 seasons upon this Richmond side as they're looking for their first win of the Jägermeister Cup. Vignoles gallops in before he sends out wide for Shenfield, who goes for the cross, but a little bit too high, no one able to be on the receiving end. Actually, Shenfield looked to get a potential opportunity going for Richmond as the 31-year-old from Chile. He was so dynamic last season with Central Valley Fuego, where he scored 2 goals and 3 assists in his 25 matches with Fuego. And he scrapped one-on-one with Akoto, advances the ball upward, but all for naught as it provides a throw-in for Ian Cameron's side. South Georgia Tormenta with possession off of the throw-in. They have struggled a little bit in recent form, as we mentioned at the Open. They went winless in 5 straight, whether it be in Jägermeister Cup, the Open Cup, regular season play. They had a dominating 4-0 win versus Chattanooga Red Wolves to try to really not only bounce them back into the win column, but get them back to what they really do best, which is scoring goals. They are second in League One in terms of scoring goals, behind none other than the team who is currently at the top of not only the regular season table, but the Eastern group as a whole in Greenville Triumph. Jackson Corey weaves his way in, wants to center up in front, but that one goes off the leg of James Vaughn. Lombardi, too far for Spangler, but it comes back towards center, Preston Kilwine. Vivas wanted Curry, but he was a little out of range, so this one gets played all the way back for Pablo Jara. Some quick pressure from Vivas, who we've already spoken about in the Open, but he has been doing so well. 7 goals across all competitions, and a quick header for Kilwine to prevent any more danger to come for Chandler O'Dwyer. Ball gets approached to the near side. Justin Suko looking to distribute it away as South Georgia just pressing up on their defense. And it's something that both of these two sides have really been able to acknowledge, is how difficult sometimes these new opportunities can pose, because it's not just a chance to win a trophy like the Jägermeister Cup, but it's also a chance to really put a stamp on things. And as the tournament continues to progress, both of these sides will know that, kind of just like the regular season, things will ramp up as the season carries along. And they understand that the closer they get towards the end and the more games play out, the more the table starts to take shape. That some teams may try to press the issue a little more. They may take bigger risks to get the goal scored. Maybe if they see that they're not at the top of the table, they might try to go for that tiebreaker, for that one wild card spot, which is the most goal scorer throughout the entire tournament. And both these two sides have been able to do that. However, now they've been able to produce a win in regulation. Only 1 win for the Richmond Kickers. That was in a penalty kick shootout against Greenville Triumph. That was the first game of the tournament for Richmond. Tormenta, a pair of losses, once in the penalty shootout and once in regulation to Greenville. But they did come back to tie things up against Charlotte Independence to force the PK, and that's their sole point in the East Group standings. Tunbridge with the intercept, just launches that one into the arms of Pablo Jara, who has to make his first save of the match. pops right up into the air where Kilwine has to settle. Aaron Lombardi, he had an excellent performance last week versus Chattanooga against his former squad, where he got an assist, which was his last since July of 2023, even enough to earn him Team of the Week honors in the regular season. Connor Doyle possesses over for Callum Stretch. Up to center, Tunbridge trying to avoid Vaughn. Just barely gets away for Steedman, who takes a stumble right at the center circle. The trip up committed by James Vaughn. As we take a second look, Steedman and Vaughn just going at it. Just got a quick clip on the heels of Steedman as he was trying to make the spinorama move. But he sends it out wide for a very promising youngster for Ian Cameron. The 23-year-old Ajmer Spangler comes out wide. Aaron Lombardi. Lombardi wanting to go for Vivas before that one gets disrupted by Richmond. Tormenta still with it, Jackson Curry. And we mentioned at the top when we were mentioning the starting 11s how Tormenta, they're trying to tweak things, especially in the back end with the absence of Jake Dangler. But right now, Curry into the middle. Couldn't find Vivas, blocked away by Dakota Barnathan, so he just says goodbye to that one. Drew Romig, we mentioned, has not played in League One action, but he did play all 4 games of Tormenta's US Open Cup run, where he had a very strong showing. 5 goals allowed in those 4 matches, stopped 20 of 25, and a pair of clean sheets for Drew Romig, all in the US Open Cup. And keep in mind for Romig, there were some tough opponents within that stretch. You had some teams, whether if it's in the UPSL or NISA, but a pair of USL Championship clubs as well. And it took 120 minutes from the top team of the USL Championship at the time in Charleston Battery to take Tormenta out of the Open Cup. It just shows how much trust and belief Ian Cameron has in Drew Romig back in net. He called him and Fort Parker a 1A, 1B type of tandem. Well, let's see how 1B looks as Connor Doyle chips that one off of the arm of Adrian Bilhart. Sent up and out, headed away by Guy Franca. Spangler, end-to-end for Lombardi. We're at a dozen minutes. Both teams have had opportunities, but nothing to be able to break through. Now Vivas looks to make that one go. Wanted Tunbridge, but that one gets blocked in front. That appears to be Dakota Barnathan, who got his body in the way of the ball. Callum Stretch. Akoto. And it's very interesting to see Connor Doyle dropping back, kind of a pseudo back 5 or back 3, if you will. It's something Ian Cameron has had to experiment with, not due to choice, but due to injury. But Mason Tunbridge, he feeds this one up, wants Akoto. Akoto up in front, just out of the reach of Vivas. Second chance goes, blocked in front. Spangler, just off target. South Georgia Tormenta, they're cooking with gas, but they're just a little bit off target, just by a smidge. And what a sequence here for the Ibises. A little too far for Vivas. Lombardi from range. Vivas blocked Lombardi's shot, and then the follow-up by Spangler just went wide. He was right on the penalty circle, had no one near him, and could have banged that one in for a potential chance at goals for back-to-back games. But a couple of feet, maybe 10 inches at the max, is the difference maker between Tormenta taking the 1-0 lead and this game still being scoreless. Griffin Garnett and Guy Franca go back and forth. Quick touch there for Vaughn as he finds Barnathan. Stretch pass it goes, touch back for Bill Hart. Near side it comes, Shenfield. Watched by Akoto. And back for center it goes for Richmond. And Richmond, we mentioned at the open, they're in a 7-game winless drought, and sometimes they've had their chances, as this one is going to be centered up by Shenfield, but blocked by Akoto. And this will come out of play as a whistle will come deep in the Tormenta end. Darren Sawatsky categorized his Richmond side as a really solid team that's been disciplined, defensively organized. But the key for them is that they've been getting their chances. They've had opportunities game to game. It's just that sometimes they haven't been able to bury. But Neil Vignoles is tasked with the first corner kick of the match. Vignoles, back of the post, disrupted by Stretch. Vivas in a foot race with Fitch. And Vivas just sends that one well away. And that's really one of the struggles for this kicker side, is being able to finish those opportunities, being able to finish and get those chances and turning them from chances to goals. And sometimes it can just be those little things. It can be the bounce of a ball in a certain direction, and sometimes when the bounces do go your way, or when it does roll the way you want it to, it can really stir things up and can potentially start to swing the pendulum into another direction. As Lombardi barely able to escape, Vivas and Steedman look to keep it in play, but Fitch walks away with it back for the 17-year-old Academy product, Griffin Garnett. Griffin Garnett distributing this one around as he is a part of that back three with Franca and Barnathan. It's something we haven't seen a lot of from Darren Sawatsky's side, is having this back three. They tend to go back four primarily, with 5 midfielders and 2 forwards. Sent in, but that one gets poked away by Nick Akoto. Lombardi trying to walk away as he was double teamed for a minute there by Bill Hart and Vignoles. And Ian Cameron talked about some of the struggles that Tormenta has had up until that Chattanooga Red Wolves game we mentioned. There was a 5-game losing streak. Whether if that be in regulation and extra time in the Open Cup, or even the penalty shootout in the Jaeger Cup. But he said that sometimes when you have a stretch like that with so many games, not just in different tournaments, but even on the road in many of those, it can really become physically challenging for the players, mentally exhausting for the boys on the pitch. And it's also mentally exhausting for the coaches, knowing that they've had the opportunities, they got their chances. They just wish that those opportunities maybe came a little more in their favor. And sometimes when it comes to those opportunities, at least for Ian Cameron's side, they understand that they have to take their licks sometimes throughout the duration of the season. And when you come back, whether it be to training or on the first match back of a difficult stretch, the question is how they respond and how they're able to apply themselves to get back into the form that they're used to. But Tormenta, they've been able to gather the opportunities as Tunbridge just let that one fly, but it was a whistle down by our head official. Our officiating crew are all in red today. Jair Campos is our head referee. Assisting him will be Kevin Hewitt and Stefan Faria, with Mario Merich being our 4th official for this match between the Kickers and Tormenta that's currently scoreless, just shy of 20 minutes deep. Romig in at least league action. Has not been in any sort of league play since September of 2023, back when he was still a member of the USL Championship side of Memphis 901 FC. And now he's taken the drop down to USL League One, where he has been a 1-2 tandem with Ford Parker, but the 1-2 tandem on the other side, Pablo Jara, holds on to the ball to prevent Jackson Curry from doing anything else. Him and Ryan Shello have been a really solid tandem for Richmond. Shello's had the large brunt of the games as of recently because he's put in such great work, whether it be in the Open Cup matches for Richmond or in training. And for Pablo Jara, having such a long layoff between matches, he hasn't been in action since April 20th. It can really be hard to get into rhythm for a goaltender, not just because they have to get into the rhythm of the match, but they have to be in sync with the 4 guys ahead of them, or at least for tonight, it's 3. Akoto blocks that one away from Schenfeld, so Spangler has to start a step away before he dishes it off. Mason Tunbridge, nice move there. He's got some space. Tunbridge with options, wanting to go deep for Curry. Curry into the area, but just a little too high as the cross was not available. There's also a lot of trust in Darren Sawatsky, especially on his defensive line of all things. He mentioned how solid they've been defensively in terms of structure and in terms of their style of play. But having a couple of young guys in the back with one vet, being Dakota Barnathan on that far side of that back 3, who is essentially the veteran between these 3 guys. And then you have 2 younger guys to complete that defensive back 3 with Guy Franca at 24 and Griffin Garnett, who we mentioned, 17 years old. It's a lot of faith for Darren Sawatsky, especially with the game model that they've essentially kind of implemented for their last couple of seasons, which is to develop from within. They have a lot of academy players, not only in the match today, but also on the bench for today's match, as that foul comes against Richmond, and the ball will be in favor of South Georgia. Adrian Bill Hart, another one of those ex-South Georgia Tormenta players. Coming up next Wednesday, Monterey Bay FC takes on the Eastern Conference leader in Charleston Battery in a clash of USL Championship clubs at 10 p.m. Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Akoto a little bit slow. He got dinged up a couple of weeks ago. He's been so reliable for Ian Cameron. As we take another look at what happened here, Akoto was just trying to send that one back for Connor Doyle, but he took that hip-to-hip check, essentially, by Schenfeld. And the Tormenta captain sends this one up. Vivas tangled up and draws the whistle. And if you're Guy Franca, I cannot blame you for trying to wrap up Vivas the way he did, considering how strong he has been, especially in recent form. Vivas not only leading Tormenta in goals across all competitions, but he also has done so in the last 8 matches across all competitions. So it's not just the fact that he has been able to score goals essentially at will for Vivas. It's the fact he's done so in such a long, consistent string of games in essentially all types of ways. but that one's going to be sent up for the back post. O'Dwyer for Bill Hart popped up in the air and caught by Drew Romig. That ball did not have enough juice on that, so a bit of a scramble by that Richmond defense to get that one out of the potential danger of either Vivas or Khoury. But Vivas pressing up again on Barnathan. Up towards center, O'Dwyer. A lot of action in 25 minutes of play, but nothing egregious in terms of yellow cards. But a lot of scoring opportunities as Vignoles looks to create. He's getting eyed by 3 Tormenta players, trying to shake away Stretch. Shenfield, return for Vignoles, could not get possession, so Spangler has a little bit of opportunity and drops it off for Tunbridge. Only 4 shot attempts so far in this match, 26 minutes in. And only 1 in favor of the kickers. Tormenta has at least had a shot on net to test Pablo Jara a little bit early, but Vivas sprints up ahead as does Jara to make the snag to prevent Vivas from potentially getting number 8 on the season. Lombardi prevents that ball from getting to Bill Hart, so it comes out of play where Lombardi will take the throw. We mentioned Adrian Bill Hart, number 20, right there, standing over it. He's had some time with Tormenta as well, spent 2 seasons with the League One team and even spent a year with the League Two side where he signed his first professional contract. As he stands over the ball again, Bill Hart sprints up, shoots, and scores! Adrian Bill Hart, one of the ex-Ibises, gets that ball to the back of the net and opens the scoring for Richmond. Sometimes homecomings, they can be a little sweet, or sometimes for Tormenta, it's a little bit bitter. Adrian Bill Hart looking to just create some space, just drives that one into the bottom left corner, and Romig can only do so much as Bill Hart had all the leg to jam that one. Romig might have gotten a piece of it, but regardless, Richmond opened things up only 27 minutes in. 26 and change, rather, but neither here nor there as that ball goes out of play. That's Adrian Bill Hart's 5th goal in League One play that leads the Richmond Kickers, and doing so in a stadium where he spent so many years, developed as an academy product, won a championship with Tormenta, and even came back from a really nasty injury in 2021 and came back as a 2022 Comeback Player of the Year for League One. Now with Tormenta, they've been able to score so well considering how they have fared in league ranks. How do they respond? Stretch, Spangler, being chased by Suko, Steedman. Tormenta looking for any space available, but right now, essentially once Tormenta gets into the attacking half, it's almost like everyone in Richmond is just dropping back, essentially trying to force things and potentially make things a potential 11-on-8 in a way. Connor Doyle. Stretch. Just going back and forth. Or Tormenta, they're looking for any alleyways, but Tormenta is just facing nothing but traffic jams by a couple of white jerseys. Wants to go deep and a little bit out of reach for Vivas. Bill Hart again, gets taken down by Kilwine. Corner to corner it goes, disrupted by Spangler. Koto just chips that one up, but doesn't matter regardless. Flag went up. These two teams are trailing the East Group in Jägermeister Cup standings, with the Charlotte Independence and Greenville Triumph up top. Richmond, they got a PK win in their opening match, but they lost their second chance in the Jägermeister Cup in Chattanooga against the Red Wolves. While South Georgia Tormenta, they lost to Charlotte in their opening game of Jaeger Cup play in a penalty shootout to get their lone point of the tournament, and they lost in a shootout versus Greenville Triumph. That one was at Furman, where it took a unbelievable 37-38 yard strike from a defender, Jamie Smith, to beat Fort Parker to give Greenville those 3 points. Right now, both of these two teams are chasing the Independence in the Triumph. Richmond on top by one, a little over half an hour in, but Tunbridge looks to accelerate as he faces a clog, but eventually gets stumbled down and draws a foul and a set piece for the Ibises. Tunbridge just pushing that one up. He might have taken a quick shove in the back by Griffin Garnett. And now an opportunity to potentially level this game for South Georgia. Mason Tunbridge stands over with assistance from Spangler potentially. Tunbridge chips it up, and that one gets headed up and out from James Vaughn. We saw one corner kick opportunity for Richmond. This will be the first for South Georgia Tormenta. As Tunbridge with an opportunity to serve the corner on this near side, which is the exact way how they equalized versus Charlotte Independent to force that penalty shootout in the opening match of the Jägermeister Cup. Could we potentially see some magic again? Tunbridge in, but finds Doyle. Crossed in again, Tunbridge, back post, in, scores! Sebastian Vivas! He's done it again! 8 goals in 9 games for Sebastian Vivas to tie it at 1. What an excellent feed from Tunbridge to Vivas. If you see Sebastian Vivas in the back post, start praying, because he can elevate, get that header into the back post, and beat your goalie. 8 goals, 9 games for the first year League One pro to level this game for Tormenta. And for somebody only 5'11", he can leap like he's 6'5" and can find those soft spots in the 6. And he's done that exact thing for number 9. We mentioned it just before that corner was taken, how Tunbridge to Vivas was how the Charlotte game ended in a draw in stoppage time. That time it was Tunbridge to Vivas again. But Neil Vigneault could potentially try to retake the lead. Billhart 1v1 is just a little bit wide. Adrian Billhart wanted the brace and the lead. What an effort in the feed from Vigneault. But he even had Romig beat as Romig went low and Billhart shot high. We talk about the Jägermeister Cup, the emphasis on goal scoring, how it's the primary tiebreaker for that 4th wild card spot is goals scored. And if this is what we're gonna see for the remainder of this match, only 35 minutes in, we are in for it.
In the 36th minute of play, yellow card issued to number 5 of Richmond Kickers, Maxi Schenfeld.
Schenfeld takes a yellow. That's the first yellow card of the match for Richmond. And for Richmond, they have the most yellow cards parted in the entirety of USL League One. And Maxi Schenfeld starts things up on that category. Well, Richmond have it once again deep in the Tormenta end. Starter step, holds, Fawn, in for O'Dwyer, taken down by Stretch, and he sends that one away. But Vivas has a chance at a run. He corrals. He's got Garnett beat, and he waits for some extra help. Akoto. He takes another clip from Schenfeld just as he sends the ball away. We saw that earlier, that Akoto and Schenfeld, they scrapped. He took a hit from Schenfeld way early in the match, maybe around a dozen minutes in, and that is exactly what happened again, just flipped the ends of the pitch. Akoto, he got the touch, he just sent that one up, and there's a potential that he knew Schenfeld was coming, so he just chipped it away to try to force the whistle or maybe even force a card, considering how Schenfeld just got one a minute or so ago. Maybe a little bit of gamesmanship, that game within the game, but nonetheless, Tunbridge and Doyle with another set piece. Keep an eye on Sebastian Vivas on the top of the little semicircle there. He's got 3 guys watching him right now. He's spelling that type of danger. Tunbridge, service, snagged by Jara. And who else is there for Pablo Jara to get his hands on it? None other than Sebastian Vivas. Tunbridge settles it down as Tormenta tries to recollect themselves a little bit after a frantic last 5 minutes of play. As Dan Steedman for Stretch. Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select is the player's choice. Tunbridge wanted to go straight for Akoto, but that one gets intercepted by Schenfeld, who wants to make a transition for Adrian Billhart. Steedman looks to disrupt. And a nice slide from Lombardi comes right for Vivas, and Turnbridge wants to try to turn things around. Spangler got that ball dislodged from behind by Guy Franca. As Suko and Barnathan combine to find that one to the near side for Franca. Abojada takes this one again, and when we spoke to Ian Cameron about his former goaltender, he had nothing but great things to say, saying how trying to explain what he means to this organization is so tough to do, how he might be the single most important player for all of South Georgia Tormenta since the time that he was in the club, but now he might have to face some potential pressure as Daniel Steedman takes it away. Tonbridge, 5 minutes to go in the half, tied at 1. Jackson Corey. Steedman sends it up for Akoto. And that one comes off of the end line for an opportunity for a Tormenta corner. They had one earlier. They scored shortly after that corner kick commenced. How will number 2 go as Tonbridge takes a quick prance over there? Off the corner, headed out by Richmond. But Spangler is the only one in the area to keep this in play. Spangler feeds in, snagged again by Pablo Jara. Going into the season, he was top 5 across numerous categories in terms of League One history, including saves and clean sheets. And that's not just in terms of regular season play, but that's including all competitions. So we're talking about some of the pedigree that Pablo Jara has brought to South Georgia Tormenta, wants to recollect with Richmond, as he's made some big saves to keep Richmond within this one, 1-0. And then gave up that one to even it from that man right there, Vivas, but he gets it stripped away by Garnett. Two shots on target for Tormenta, 1 for Richmond. 7 shot attempts, and only 1 in favor of Tormenta. Suko just barely gets that one away as it finds the feet of Franca. Quick touch up, a little out of Shenfield's range, and it produces another throw for Tormenta with 2 and change to go in the first half. Lombardi chips this one up. Too tall for Vivas. Shenfield. Vignoles. End to end, sprinting up along is Simon Fitch. He was team of the week of round 2 of the Jägermeister Cup. Can he potentially produce some magic again as he receives it back from Vaughn? Fitch on Lombardi, sends it in. Overhead kick, and just barely gets poked away by Drew Romig. Excellent creativity from Richmond's offense, and an excellent stop from Romig to keep this game level. That one just pops in the air. The nice little overhead kick from, looks like Chandler O'Dwyer. And he's tied a career high, O'Dwyer. He wants to break that. Punched away by Romig, but a whistle inside of the box against the guys in white. Cool. Could we potentially see another opportunity here at the end of the first half as Drew Romig sends away the goal kick with a pair of minutes to go in extras? Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Plus, hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app. Makoto in off the throw for Spangler, having to fight off Bill Hart. But O'Dwyer recovers. Advantage play on. Chandler O'Dwyer, Neil Vignoles. Akoto shadowing Vignoles and successfully gets Vignoles to stumble. And Tunbridge has a lane for Corey. Barnathan's the only man in front of him. Jackson Corey. He's looking for an opportunity, and it rolls out of play, and a goal kick in favor of Richmond when it's all said and done. Jackson Corey wanting to create. He got a goal in that Greenville match of the last Jägermeister Cup match. He's on the second season of a 2-year deal with South Georgia Tormenta. For the 21-year-old from Australia, wanting to potentially give Tormenta an opportunity to have the 1-goal advantage at half, but with only a half minute or so to play, who knows at this point. Stretch pass up ahead. Fitch. O'Dwyer. He's been creative. He sends off for Vignoles. Vignoles off a deflection, off a paw. It's Drew Romig. Potentially the last opportunity for Richmond before the conclusion of the first half. Third corner for Vignoles. All of them have come on this near side. Vignoles headed down. Preston Kilwine is there, and that header will expire the first half of play. The Jägermeister Cup, you want goals? You've got not only that, you've got scoring opportunities galore from the kickers and from Tormenta, as both Ian Cameron and Darren Sawatsky look to see what can potentially break this 1-1 draw. But one of the two is right there. Sebastian Vivas tied the game after Adrian Billhart, the ex-Tormenta product, opened things up. Well, that is the opening 45 for us here in Statesboro. A back-and-forth clash between South Georgia and Richmond. A lot of excitement, a lot of action as we break that down and more from across USL League One. We're at the halftime break.
Do you still know how to fix one of these things?
Bullock man.
I'm building a team. Are you in?
I think Blue Lightning will want to come too.
You guys looking for real speed?
Hey, smart board, when you're done fixing that, Bullet County needs your help.
I need to try it first.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System, we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
75 goals is great with Blue City in USL Championship. Looking for one here. Oh, it's a beautiful strike. And it's in for Lancaster. If the home side can't hurry, the Youth fires the shot and curls it in. Kept nicely lined and fire, and it's in. Alfredo Medense. Welcome aboard. It's loose in the box, and an area shot is in. My goodness. Central Valley has tied. Morales approaches, stutters, and scores. The hesitation. On the right foot, and he buries it. For a second consecutive match, it's a dream start for forward Madison. This time, it's Christian Janey. Obregon buries a beautiful free kick. His second in Jägermeister Cup play. It down, plays it off. Gebhard, and it's 2-1. Disallowed on one end for Charlotte, and Gebhard retakes the lead for forward.
The Hailstorm player lets it fly, turned away, and the tap-in is through. Cello Martinez, Hernandez, his cross finds Rendon, he scores, it's 2-0, Northern Colorado. One goal already, Rendon, make it 2. Castro rolls it central, it's tapped in. And it back dangerously so. Horde settles, Horde scores. A fourth slices through traffic. Yamazaki strike. Oh, Yamazaki!
McKinnon goes to his right. Ryan McKinnon shoots, and oh my goodness! It's nearly deja vu for Ryan McKinnon against Tormenta. A screaming effort for Tormenta. Nice weighted ball, Curry! And he blasts it home. Tormenta take the advantage. Jamie Smith, he scores.
Clark is going to regret that one.
Jamie Smith from downtown.
Lots of the audacity of the attack by Jamie.
Flip ball, the cross, and this one goes up and off the crossbar. Great look denied by the crossbar. Bill Hart from distance, no. Good ball in. A chance for Marsh. Chance for Lukic, and it falls through for the opening goal in the 85th minute. A moment of chaos results in a goal.
Rodriguez, he's 1v1. Rodriguez! Masayo Rodriguez! 4 goals in 3 games! Before he gets stripped away, a shot goes in, we're even! Andre Lewis! 5 minutes after Rodriguez, it's Lewis with his second in 2024, and we are tied at 1. Dolabella and Venancio scores! Dolabella, 2-1, Omaha, off of the penalty. National velocity, heel, off of his heels. Hill scores! They sends this one in. That's an air. Inward! Hill scores! He gets on the board on the 90+. And Spokane have taken the lead and put the pressure.
Go get it, Doug.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Traeger up over the top. Tristan Traeger. It's in.
Opportunity here. The hit and a goal.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes, only want the best. Grinding every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Looks great.
Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lake from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
We're back here as we go through some of the news and notes. The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup continues with some USL clubs in action on the championship. Sacramento Republic, New Mexico United, Indy 11 are all a part of the next round going from July 9th to 10th. And AV Alta FC will join League One in 2025, playing in Lancaster Municipal Stadium in Lancaster, California. A large part of the expansion of USL League One. We've seen some of the recent clubs as of late, whether it be Texoma, whether it be Portland, Maine. It's just a really part of what's been kind of saying the quiet part out loud, how much the USL and League One have really grown and really expanded the game of soccer, especially in some of these smaller markets. And the Jägermeister Cup leaderboard has Bruno Rendon of Northern Colorado Hellstorm leading the way, with Omaha Messiah Rodriguez. They're both on top with 3 goals each. Omaha will be on route for Wednesday as we take a look at the scores and schedule. And Northern Colorado Hailstorm, they will play against the Charlotte Independents in only about a half an hour from now, but with other matches across the Jägermeister Cup. Ford Madison and 1 Knoxville, that's a 1-game decision as of right now. Chattanooga Red Wolves and Lexington SC, another 1-goal decision right now. And the question for really not just these 2 matches, but how the rest of them play out, is what are we going to be able to see from the entirety of the week-by-week results, as week 1, all but 1 game was fewer than 3 goals, and in week 2, all but 1 game was more than 3 goals. So we could potentially see this type of potential split again as we look through the remainder of the Jägermeister Cup. And as we go through round 4, at least within the 2 sides who are playing today, South Georgia Tormenta, they played their most recent past Jägermeister Cup match against Richmond. That one was in Furman. This one will take place in Statesboro. And then for the Richmond Kickers, they would play against the Charlotte Independents. Independents are up against a Northern Colorado Hailstorm side that put up that dominating 5-1 performance against One Knox. If Colorado is on a hot streak, can potentially give another loss to Charlotte, and depending on how things go between Richmond and Tormenta, this foursome right here in the middle can really provide a lot of shakeup within that Eastern group between Richmond, Charlotte, Tormenta, and Greenville. Well, there's a lot of action from around League One, but we have a lot of action to go here in Statesboro, Georgia, as we come back for some more updates from this match between the Kickers and Tormenta after this.
Are you suffering from hip or knee pain? Don't let the pain hold you back. The region's most experienced robotic joint replacement team at Optum Health System offers an individually tailored approach that is more precise and creates smaller incisions. For you, that can mean a faster recovery with less pain. Your comeback starts here. Call today to find out if robotic-assisted joint replacement is right for you.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, will be to save Bullock County from slow internet. To do so, you must recruit an exceptional tech team. They must be fast, reliable, and absolutely fearless. Time is of the essence. Bullock's internet is dependent on your success.
I need to try it first.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines, including Southwest Airlines, Breeze Airways, and Avelo Airlines. With up to 70 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International. Visit flysav.com.
The Clubhouse in Statesboro, Southeast Georgia's best place to play. The Clubhouse in Statesboro, where fun is done.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. It's been an eventful first 45 minutes between South Georgia Tormenta and Richmond Kickers. So many scoring chances as Nick Akoto sets this one up. Couldn't find Vivas. He actually blocked that first shot from Lombardi, and the follow-up from Ashmir Spangler went just a touch wide. And one of the many ex-Ibises on this kicker squad, Adrian Billhart, just drills that one past Drew Romig to open things up. That was in the 27th minute of play, and that is Bill Hart's team-leading 5th goal of the 2024 season in League One play. He's been so hot and got things started, but just a little bit after a corner kick, Tunbridge to back post to none other, Sebastian Vivas, number 9 on that back post. He's got 8 goals in 9 games for the 27-year-old from Argentina, as he tied that only about a half a dozen minutes after Bill Hart started things off, and Bill Hart, wide number 2, was just a touch out of range. And Vignoles took a shot of his own, but just getting a poke away at it was Drew Romig to force that to be level at 1 as Vivas kicks us off in half number 2. Tormenta in the blacks, right to left, while Richmond Kickers are left to right in the all whites. It was a very eventful first half as Possession was basically 50-50. 9 shot attempts and 5 shots on target. Richmond has the advantage by 1 in both of those categories. And a lot of those shots, especially the ones that were on target, they all came from inside of the box. And at least for Richmond, it's been a lot of Adrian Billhart, considering how he leads the way in terms of shot attempts for the kickers. And for South Georgia Tormenta, it's very spread out in terms of the shots and who's been taking them, as multiple players all have a singular attempt. But Jackson Corey makes an attempt, he's getting tangled up by Fitch. He goes inward, but that one gets blocked away. Gets sent away by Suko. Billhart scored the opener, not just for Richmond, but for this match, as it goes into a bit of a no man's land. Akoto with the intercept. Steedman. Corey. South Georgia back with it again, and Lombardi just leaves it behind for Kilwine, but gets the return anyways. We mentioned just a minute ago how with Tormenta, they don't necessarily have that one guy who's been scoring or dominating the scoring in any way, shape, and form, despite Vivas in recent form, as their last match versus Chattanooga was the first time that any of their matches had a player with a brace. It took them 14 matches to do so. The other 13 prior, every single goal was by a different goal scorer within the match. And it took Sebastian Vivas against the Chattanooga Red Wolf side to finally get the first brace of the season for Tormenta to give Vivas the player of the week for week 9. And it kind of speaks volumes in terms of the depth and the ability of this side, how so many guys are able to get on the score sheet, how Ian Cameron really wants to preach the belief in scoring. There's a chance here for Spangler, in front for Corey, but it just goes a little bit too far for Spangler. Less than one going out of play for a Tormenta throw. A belief in scoring is one of those things that's been very paramount for Ian Cameron, because sometimes when the ebbs and flows of the game, they can be tough to manage, especially not just throughout a game, but throughout the season. But it gives them the thought that no matter what the situation is, they can get themselves back into a game. If they're behind, they can claw back into it. We've seen them come from behind so many times. Or maybe in a match like this where they're knotted up for a long period of time, it allows them an opportunity, that belief in goal scoring, that knowledge that they've been able to do it, especially in clutch situations, that they can, in a way, maybe close this thing out. Maybe that belief, that mental game for the guys in black right now could be that difference maker to potentially taking home the first set of 3 points for Tormenta. Quick juggle up, Steedman and Lombardi, they clash right there before it's stripped away by Fitch. O'Dwyer. Neil Vignoles. Shenfield and Akoto. Quick deflection and goes out of play. Richmond had 3 corners in the first half. This is their 4th of the match. Before Callum Stretch using that 6'4" frame to head that one out. Billhart up for grabs. It's Stretch again. No substitutions for either head coach Cameron or Sawatsky. But a quick header up, lands right to the feet of James Vaughn. He waits for reinforcements. Billhart around Kilwine, but Stretch helps out to get the clear. We saw a lot of this in the first half where both teams were just changing opportunity for opportunity. And we see it again as it's a throw-in for Simon Fitch. Bill Hart drives, and he goes too high. Vivas races after that, so Garnett just taps this one back for Jara. Wanting to follow through for Fitch, but that one was ruled out of play right in front of the Richmond bench.
Your job is to be an official. Hey, side behind you, behind you.
Just barely coming out of play once again. Lombardi unable to save it. And with a yellow card coming out after all that was said and done.
In the 52nd minute of play, yellow card issued.
Sebastian Vivas takes the yellow.
Sebastian Vivas.
Just a lot has been happening for both sides. But that's the first yellow card for Tormenta. That's the second time Vivas has been booked in the 2024 season. As Fitch takes a throw in for Bill Hart. Scrapped by Steedman, stripped away by Corey. And it goes out of play in favor of Richmond. Darren Sawatsky keeping his side in check. They opened up the scoring in the 27th minute, but it's stripped away by Ajmer Spangler. He gets taken down, and a whistle gets granted towards Tormenta. And with Richmond, they're very aggressive defensively. Sometimes they tend to draw a lot of fouls, as we saw right there. A quick little, I don't know if arm bar is the right word, but a quick little snag of the shoulder, a little bit of interference. That's the 11th foul against Richmond in this match. Tormenta's only had 3. And for Richmond, they are the most penalized team in League One in terms of fouls conceded. And it also gets doubled up with the fact that they provide the most yellow cards as well. Corey a little too aggressive on that challenge. Comes all the way back for Garnett. Jara. Barnathan has Corey chasing after him. Lombardi gets the pickpocket as Spangler has Tunbridge wanting to go wide. Corey couldn't get the touch on the feed from Mason Tunbridge, and it provides a goal kick for Richmond. Mason Tunbridge, he had a very great last couple of matches for South Georgia Tormenta. He's got goals in back-to-back coming into today. He scored in the last Jägermeister Cup match versus Greenville, as well as scoring his first career goal against the Richmond Kickers back in mid-March. And that one was in stoppage time to give Tormenta that 2-goal lead, where they just really put it on Richmond throughout the entirety of that match. But when you talk to either of these two coaches about playing the same team twice, they both said pretty much the exact same thing, how a lot of things can change throughout that span. And considering how it's been pretty much 2 months since the first time these two played in the regular season, so much has changed for both of these two sides. whether if it's building up their identities offensively and defensively, some of the players they've either inserted or left off of the starting 11, and even just the chemistry on the pitch, and even just the fact that you know what to expect a little bit because you've played them before, can really add a dimension to this match. And we've seen it here as a chance comes off of a Koto, but a little bit too far ahead of the last defender was Richmond. The USL Championship is on CBS and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN+. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete USL TV listings. Falls to the feet of Connor Doyle. Steedman tried to save it, intercepted, and now it's a foot race. Lombardi chasing after that. Kilwine against O'Dwyer. Kilwine is there. And the foul goes against the 24-year-old Englishman, Chandler O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer, we mentioned some of his opportunities offensively. He's got a tie for his career high in goals, which he accomplished last year. As he stands on it again. O'Dwyer for Vignoles. Vignoles! Stopped by Romig. Rebound! Romig again! Scramble in front. No one's got it. Romig finally captures. Drew Romig may have taken a foot to the back of the head as he rubs that, but what an opportunity for Richmond. What an even better stop from Drew Romig. Maybe 3 or 4 swipes at that for the Kickers, and the 25-year-old from the Richmond Kickers Academy program, Drew Romig, able to get the stop on a pair of players who have been spelling danger all night long in Chandler O'Dwyer and Neil Vignoles. As we just mentioned, Drew Romig was a part of the Richmond Kickers Academy program. He spent 2 years there in 2014 and 2015 when they were still a part of the, right before he was a member of the UNC Tar Heels. He gets a couple of excellent stops against his former club. Shenfield, O'Dwyer, Barnathan looks for something available. Just out of reach for Bill Hart, so Romig will hold up play for a little bit. As we are about a minute and a half from the hour mark. Bouncer up, Corey is the first one there, and Vivas going up against Barnathan. Barnathan, he's got possession for now, but Vivas is still on him. Barnathan able to clear. Fitch just barely in off of the foot of Bill Hart, so Steedman, he gets double teamed and finds an opportunity for Mason Tunbridge. Ajmer Spangler just stripped away from the ball from Vaughn. A little too far for Shenfield as Akoto. And Tunbridge just winds up. Vivas. 1 sec. Pardon that, Spangler. Tunbridge accelerates upward. No whistle there. We're at 60 minutes, 30 to go. 1-1 the score. It was Adrian Bill Hart and Sebastian Vivas. They were half a dozen minutes apart from each other between the 27th and 34th minutes. Fitch. Bill Hart. Adrian Bill Hart looks for space, looks for a shot, and a goal! Adrian Bill Hart, what a homecoming for him. Brace for impact as he's coming for the back of the net. 2 goals for Bill Hart, 2-1 Richmond. What a shot from Adrian Bill Hart. You had 5 black jerseys right there, and with Drew Romig, that's about as good as you can do on a shot like that. That's Adrian Bill Hart's 5th and 6th goals in 2024. He scored 5 goals in his entire 2-year tenure with Tormenta. But how does Tormenta respond again? Steedman. End to end for stretch. Akoto. He's been seeing Schenfeld all night, but Corey has to keep this one alive as Callum Stretch into the box. Blocked away. Stretch is still alive. And that one comes out of play. And this one is Tunbridge. Wants a feed into the area. Disrupted by the kickers. Lombardi to Steedman. Steedman serves, blocked in front. Jara has to pounce.
In the 64th minute of play, we have 4 substitutions for Tormenta FC. Substitution number 1.
Couple of substitutions. We got 4 of them, in fact. We've got Watson coming in, Fonseca, Lombardi exit for Joshua Ramos. Tavia Dalmeida will enter the match. Fonseca will enter in place of Mason Tunbridge. And then you've also got Tavia Dalmeida replacing Daniel Steedman, and Niall Watson coming in as well. And there might be 2 more subs happening on the Richmond side as well. Still getting that one in. So Tunbridge is one of the 4 that's exiting. And we're also going to have a pair on the kicker side as well. So Antonio Pineda and Nathan Awney, they are putting themselves into the match. Griffin Garnett and Maxi Schenfeld both will leave. And with Schenfeld, number 1 is just getting that yellow card off the table. And he was also a little slow to get up on some contact on that far end as well.
65th minute of play, we have 2 substitutions for Richmond kickers. First substitution entering the match, number 15, Tony Pineda. Exiting the match, number 5, Maxi Schenfeld. Substitution number 2 entering the match, number 24, Nathan Awney. Leaving the match, number 38, Griffin Garnett.
So that's a grand total of 6 subs for the 2 teams. 4 for Tormenta and 2 for the kickers. O'Dwyer disrupted. Pedro Fonseca fresh off the bench. What can he do? He sends it away for Akoto. Fonseca. Dalmeida. Kilwine lobs it up, wants Akoto, heads it up, wanted Vivas, not enough juice. Stretch keeps this one alive for Tormenta deep in the Richmond end before it comes back towards center. So Nathan Awney takes the place of the 17-year-old Griffin Garnett, and Antonio Pineda replaces Maxi Schoenfeld, probably in large part to get that yellow card off of the pitch for Darren Sawatsky. As Kilwine directs traffic as both teams kind of make their formational changes in a sense with the new substitutions in play. Vivas getting grabbed at by Awney. Fonseca. Dalmeida back for Fonseca. He gets tripped up and that produces a whistle. Going quick is Tormenta. Spangler. Back for Stretch. Interesting to see Stretch up involved in the play. But Akoto was 1v1 Pineda. Into the area it goes, headed away. And Fonseca has to hold on once more. Dalmeida, Spangler, wanting Vivas. And O'Dwyer takes it away. Just pokes this one up for Pineda. And a nice aggressive poke away by Akoto to not only deflect off of Pineda, but out of play to give Tormenta possession once more. So it's Watson for Corey for Tormenta, Fonseca for Tunbridge, Dalmeida for Steedman, and Ramos for Lombardi when it's all said and done. Speaking of Ramos, he's on the ball, getting tackled by Bill Hart, but recollects for Kilwine. .22 minutes to go in the second half of play. Davio Dalmeida intercepted by Pineda. Pineda taken down by Akoto. And one thing I'm a little surprised to see is despite the number of whistles on either side, it's only produced one yellow card per side, as that one is definitely going to produce a whistle as Akoto got his hand a little more close to that face area for Antonio Pineda. Sometimes when it comes to these substitutions, especially mass substitutions, those first couple of minutes can really determine a lot. Richmond at the 70-minute mark. Tormenta continues to charge up ahead. Niall Watson. Tormenta's dominated possession about 2/3 in the second half, and they still have it again with Nick Akoto. Doyle. Just finding its way back to a black shirt almost every time Richmond wants to clear. Dwyer. Double team from Spangler and Vivas to give this one back to South Georgia. Callum Stretch lost this one in. That one takes a deflection right into the arms of Pablo Jara. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Watson wanting to put some pressure on. And Almeida chips this one for Doyle. Fonseca. Despite a very eventful first half, neither side have really been able to get solid opportunities in the second. Tormenta with Spangler. Blocked. Second chance blocked away again. Guy Franca at the last second gets the foot in front. And that's the first shot attempt for Tormenta in the second half. They had 4 in the first 45, and it took them just shy of 30 minutes to get a shot attempt in the second half. It's been a lot of possession for Tormenta, but not a lot of opportunities. But now with Tunbridge out, Connor Doyle will take the first corner of the second half for Tormenta. Low ball. Blocked by Bill Hart. Nice intercept there by Pineda, but could not contain the possession, so it is a throw-in for Tormenta. And another couple of subs will be appearing. It is another substitution for Richmond, and it is an exit for Chandler O'Dwyer, 74 minutes. And Ryan Sierakowski comes into the match. Another one of the 5 ex-Tormenta players on this Richmond roster. He spent 2 seasons with South Georgia Tormenta between 2022 and 2023. Part of that championship squad of 2022 is Ryan Sierakowski, who just entered the match. But settling things down is Ajmer Spangler to provide opportunities for Tormenta. No one able to get that ball. It was a little bit of miscommunication, but it falls right back to Connor Doyle regardless. It's Fonseca. Almeida. I kind of mentioned this in the first half. The way that Richmond is defending is so strong. It's one of those things that Ian Cameron mentioned when talking about the scouting report for the Richmond Kickers, is how they don't give up a ton of chances and how they're a very driven and hard-working team. No one takes plays off. And in a match like this, those little details can decide the match down the line. As Adrian Billhart took a foot-on-foot collision with Pedro Fonseca. And you can just tell by the expressions of Billhart, he is not feeling right. He's Trying to tough it out though. Adrian Billhart. This would be a tough loss for Darren Sawatsky if he has to sub off his leading goal scorer. A man who scored twice in this match, both of Richmond's goals, one in each half. As the 26-year-old from Berlin gets tended to. What are the adjustments made by Ian Cameron and his side to potentially get Tormenta back level, where they're down 1 at 77 minutes? As we take a quick look at Adrian Billhart, does not look very good for him, but he's been having a great first 75 minutes of this match as he drove home the first goal of the match to open things up. And then a little while later, a picture perfect goal from Billhart. Just top corner. Was able to drive that home to not only start the scoring, but break the tie. Tavio de Almeida. Tormenta, they're looking for opportunities. It's just so tough with how Richmond is playing. They're essentially playing just playing everyone back at this point. As Billhart re-enters the match, there's a little bit of fear that he was done for the game, but he comes back to try to finish off the last dozen minutes plus against his former side as Joshua Ramos settles it down. Fonseca accelerates, fed in, and gets headed on by the substitution, Pedro Campos. These two sides are level on corners, 4 apiece. As Ajmir Spangler gets replaced by Pedro Campos at that last whistle. Third match of the 2024 season of his League One career for Campos. Back post it goes, just goes past Vivas, but he holds on to it as he is getting eyed so tightly by Suko. Chance went off of a body. Dalmeida wanted to go corner to corner, back for Doyle, but it was not available. And still kind of see some of the after effects of that Adrian Billhart collision from earlier as he was walking a little gingerly right there. Tormenta looking for their second. Richmond have already found it. And for Richmond, it's been a little bit of a tough stretch for them as they had 2 goals in their last 6 matches prior to today, which includes shutouts in the last 2 straight. But they found 2 in just about an hour. And could they look for 3? Adrian Billhart stepping up as Barnathan. Beneda versus Akoto, leaves it for Vignoles. He's got an assist on that first Billhart goal. Leaves it for Beneda again. And that's a quick block from Akoto as he gets the distribution feed out from Fonseca. Campos. Vivas as Fonseca A little bit of a counterattack opportunity here for Tormenta. Now Watson, described of having the sacrifice to Rod. He sends that one in. Bill Hart. And Ani for Jara just sends that one deep. And that just barely gets saved off of the touch line by Pineda for Neil Vignoles. Pineda, once again, he's on a run, centering in front, but that one gets blocked away by Josh Ramos. As we're in the final 10 minutes of the match, Pedro Campos, he is just getting straddled by Dakota Barnathan and produces a yellow card. That one was not even close. There is literally 0 to no argument there as Adrian Billhart tried to fight through some of his injuries. Valiant effort, but a man with a brace comes off for Bashua. Another ex-Ibis from 2022 to 2023 goes the 28-year-old Arthur Bashua. Quick takedown by Akoto. Wants Bashua. Vignoles. Richmond have it again. Can they extend their lead? Vignoles centers, blocked by Doyle. Still alive for Tormenta. Dalmeida wanted the outlet pass for Fonseca, but intercepted. Long range shot from Vignoles gets blocked by Dalmeida. Quick spin around from James Vaughn. Considering how they've been down for about the last 20 or so minutes, Tormenta have only mustered up a single shot all half, and it was not even on frame. Richmond's had 2 attempts, and one has gone in the direction of the net, as Sebastian Vivas has to be very careful, especially with some of the discussion with the officials. He's already in a yellow card. Taking one off for dissent would not be the way to go for Tormenta. Coach Cameron appreciated Vivas' spirit, but sometimes you don't want to overstep a little. Another takedown, no foul, Vignoles. Fitch plays this one back for Nathan Ani. 26 years old from Seattle University. In his 4th season with the Kickers, as that one is a takedown on Joshua Ramos. Campos sweeps this one up. 50-50 ball. Dalmeida has to send this one back for Kilwine, who leaves it for Romig. Final 5 for Tormenta to tie this game and force another penalty shootout. They did so against Charlotte Independence. That was off of a corner kick at the 90+3. Do they have that potential same comeback magic in them? Because right now, it's just a matter of trying to get to the top of the table. And it's a quick streak up ahead for Ryan Sierakowski. Sierakowski on Doyle. Sierakowski, wide angle, just hits the outside of the frame. Goal kick, Drew Romig. A nice little 1v1 there from Sierakowski. Just took that left footer off of Connor Doyle. But for Tormenta, they're probably happy that that didn't hit the realm of the frame because it provides them the opportunity for the recollection of possession. There's a more than likely opportunity that Richmond is just trying to park the bus right now, doing everything they can to just prevent Tormenta from just scoring that second goal. While they've had opportunities on the counterattack, sometimes defense is your best offense. Vivas for Fonseca. Fonseca from distance gets blocked in front by Vaughn. And the second opportunity gets chipped out of play by Barnathan. Throw in Tormenta. And the yellow card well after some of the initial set of play. Pedro Fonseca will be booked for the second time in 2024. But the throw-in is still in the hands of South Georgia Tormenta. Long range shot, stopped by Jara. Still alive for Campos. He lets that one fall out of play to earn the throw. Doyle, Watson, Niall Watson. Campos struggles for it. Pitches it out for Ramos. Ramos makes a move, looking to buy some space. Ramos off the leg of Fitch. And a corner for Tormenta. The long-range shot from Preston Kilwine. And Pablo Jara had to dive up to make the stop. Keeps this a one-goal game. But Connor Doyle stands over for the fifth Tormenta corner. Delivery headed out. A Tormenta player's down inside the box. Fans and players want to call, won't get it. Vivas. Preston Kilwine just took that last long-range scoring chance for South Georgia. And that was only their third shot on target of the match. We're in the 90th minute. Pablo Jara is not shy about taking his sweet, sweet time. The last time that Richmond won, it was April 6th, a 3-2 decision versus Central Valley Fuego. And Pablo Jara was in net. Believe it or not, in that Central Valley match, Jara did not register a save. He was 0 for 2 in that match, but it just happened his side scored 3. But he's been so strong in net today. He is 2 for 3 in saves so far, as we've got an extra 4. And we see another little moment of stoppage time magic in the Jägermeister Cup. Ramos, Campos, Vaughn draped all over him. Campos with the delivery, disrupted. Fonseca, disrupted, hesitates, trying to find an opportunity. Long range shot goes up and over. Fonseca just wanted to get the shot away, but he was getting double teamed. Tavio Dalmeida with the follow-up and couldn't get the shot available. And it does not look like Vignoles got any sort of deflection on there. So it is a Richmond goal kick with 3 minutes left in stoppage. And a bit of extra scrapping there between Pineda and Akoto. We've been seeing some of these battles, especially in this Richmond Tormenta series. Like, it's very chippy, very scrappy, especially towards the end. We saw that in the first time these two played back in March. Akoto saves it off of the end line. Another throw for Richmond, and Vignoles is going to provide zero sense of urgency here. Richmond looking to snap a 7-game winless streak. Tormenta wanting to send this to PKs to at least advance upward within the East Group standings. And what an excellent job from Richmond, considering how they have the 3rd most goals allowed in League One play, going up against a top 2 unit on offense, and so far in 92.5 minutes, holding them to only 1. Out of play. And a Tormenta throw. 93 out of 94. Is there one final gasp for South Georgia? Ramos, Campos goes across. Akoto sprints up ahead, leaves it behind for Stretch. Stretch fighting for that. Vaughn clears it away. And it is very slowly rolling, won't make the end line. But a whistle comes regardless. Oh, Preston Kilwine was a little bit slow to get up. So a man down for Tormenta. Tormenta's out of subs, so Kilwine will have to play the rest of this match. But the question for South Georgia is, how much time do they truly have left? We're past 94. Doyle. Dalmeida. Shot attempt gets blocked. Maybe not a shot attempt, but long pass, but still. Dalmeida. Akoto. Akoto gallops in. He gets taken down. Dalmeida. And that will provide a whistle. Discussions on both ends, as Akoto just got the foot out from, hard to see who that is. I believe that's Justin Suko. And sometimes when you, Antonio Pineda gets a yellow card in the midst of that as well. But Pedro Fonseca most likely the final opportunity for Tormenta. Tormenta have scored a vast majority of their goals after the 75th minute. We're in stoppage. Fonseca. Back post. Kilwine held off by Jara. And Pablo Jara ends it with his own hands. And the Richmond Kickers end a 7-game winless drought and get back on the win column to earn 3 points in the East Group.
One-stop shop for everything Tormenta FC. News, merchandise, tickets, and links to all of our social media. Fans, be on the lookout for a survey from Tormenta FC.
And South Georgia Tormenta, they have dropped 5 straight, and now that becomes 6 of 7. A hard-fought battle between the Kickers and Tormenta.
Sunday, June 9th at 7:30 p.m. as the Green Gold Triumph come to Tormenta Stadium for a Jägermeister Cup match. Get home safely, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. And as always, vamos Tormenta.
Adrian Billhart, he's been so solid this match. 2 goals, both for Richmond. As we go through some of the top moments of the match, as our vision source save of the match was this scramble up in front. Drew Romig was just scrambling in front of the box. No one was able to get it. It wasn't Suko, it wasn't Vignoles, it was Drew Romig. As Romig was so strong throughout this match, but could not contain the Kickers.
Hi, I'm Michelle Smith-Lang from Kids World Learning Center here in Statesboro, Georgia. Let us take care of all of your child care needs here at Kids World Learning Center, from your infants all the way to your after-schoolers. We also have a summer camp and holiday camp for those older children. And we have our brand new bus for our field trips, for the children to have fun and to learn and to explore new things all around our beautiful county. Thank you for trusting us with your most prized possessions.
Optum Health System's commitment to you has not changed. Unmatched safety and compassionate care. Others may talk about the new normal, but at Optum Health System, we've always provided high-quality, personalized care safely. If you have recently delayed your care, we want to reassure you we are prepared to care for you. Our absolute commitment to safe, high-quality, personalized care is stronger than ever. We welcome you back to Optum Health System.
I need to try it first.
Jägermeister is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the inaugural USL Jägermeister Cup. Take a shot at glory and celebrate the magic of this exciting new tournament all year long. Please drink responsibly. Well, we've had a whole load of excitement throughout 90+ minutes of play between South Georgia Tormenta and Richmond Kickers. Richmond Kickers getting the 2-1 win in Statesboro, which snapped, for them at least, a 7-game winless drought. A lot of the big play coming off of that man right there, the ex-Tormenta keeper, Pablo Jara. But he wasn't the only one creating opportunities for these two sides, as back in the 27th minute of play, Adrian Billhart, another one of the ex-Ibises, went from just outside of the box, left-footed smasher into the bottom left corner to beat Drew Romig. Adrian Billhart came back to Statesboro with a vengeance a little bit here in the Pablo Jara homecoming match, as Mason Tunbridge goes back post. Sebastian Vivas slots home the 1-1 equalizer in the 34th minute of play. Mason Tunbridge gets credited with the assist. He's got a goal and an assist in the past couple of matches, but just kept providing opportunity after opportunity. This was our save of the match with Vignoles. He got the shot off. Romig with the stop. Another opportunity was a scramble up in front with Justin Suko, but the ex-Richmond kicker, Drew Romig, was able to set that one away. When it was all said and done, but Adrian Billhart just using all the force and power inside of that left-footed spot. just had that one beautifully picked out into the top right corner. Drew Romay could only do so much. That's a brace for Bill Hart. That's 6 for him in League One play. The long-range chance from Preston Kilwine was essentially the final opportunity and one final save for Pablo Jara. But Adrian Billhart, that man right there, 2 goals to put him at 6 on the season. And he's been so solid throughout and helps launch Richmond into the win column for the 3 points in the East. Well, that'll be it for us and our entire broadcast crew here in Statesboro, Georgia. It's 2-1 for the Richmond Kickers. They get the 3 points they need in Jägermeister Cup play. While South Georgia Tormenta, they're still searching for that first win in the Jägermeister Cup. For all of us, the entire crew, my name is Ryan Lee. Have a great rest of your night.